Assalamu alaikum. In the series of lectures on Western political thought, today we will be discussing about Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes was prematurely born in 1588 and he died in 1679. I have used the word prematurely. There is a norm that a child gets birth after 9 months. But with regard to Hobbes, due to the fear created by the imminent Spanish attack, Spanish Armada attack on Britain, his mother delivered a baby after 7 months. And this baby was none other than Thomas Hobbes. So, born in 1588 and died in 1679. As far as the writings of Thomas Hobbes are concerned, he has written three important works: The Leviathan, De Cive, De Corpore. As far as his political philosophy is concerned, that is completely, wholly compiled in the Leviathan. Thomas Hobbes belonged to the age of enlightenment. He belonged to the period of enlightenment. Enlightenment period was the period in European history, in European philosophy, which began in late 16th up to 18th century. And in this period, more emphasis was given on science, more emphasis was given on reason. People resorted to reason, people resorted to science in order to solve their day to day problems, in order to solve the issues confronted by the societies during those times. Kepler's laws of planetary motion, Newton's laws of gravitation, and Galileo's law of falling bodies made a great impact on Thomas Hobbes. It is often said that as Newton revolutionized physics by his laws of gravitation, similarly Thomas Hobbes revolutionized political philosophy, political science, as he took more and more the help of physics in order to understand human beings. Before science, most of the issues, most of the problems in Europe could be solved by resorting to religion. By the middle of the 19th century, that means after 1840s till 1860s, Hobbes was acclaimed as probably the greatest writer in political philosophy that the English speaking people have ever produced. Thomas Hobbes was acclaimed as probably the greatest writer in political philosophy as far as the English world is concerned. It's often posed in questions that Hobbes began as an individualist and ended as an absolutist. This, in brief, means that the main concern for Hobbes was the security of an individual, happiness of an individual. And in order to realize this happiness and in order to realize this self preservation and security of an individual, Hobbes created an absolute Leviathan. To Hobbes, there was no option other than creating a Leviathan in order to give 100% security to the individual. According to Michael Oakeshott, who is one of the conservative thinkers, the Leviathan is the greatest, perhaps the sole masterpiece of political philosophy in the English language. Leviathan, the monster, the greatest classic ever wrote by Thomas Hobbes, is the sole masterpiece of political philosophy in the English language. Leviathan. Hobbes is generally regarded as the father of modern political science. As I have already told you above, that Hobbes revolutionized political science, as Newton revolutionized physics by his laws. Hobbes expounded the absolutist theory of sovereignty and originated the positivist theory of law. As far as the positive theory of law is concerned, it says that law is a command given by a sovereign, or we can say that the source of law lies with the sovereign, or the source of law is the guardian, is the king itself. Whatever is said by the sovereign is a law. Law is a command given by a sovereign. Or we can say before that there was an assumption that law has an origin, divine origin, or there were some who say that law is natural. But to Hobbes, law is man-made. Law is created by an absolute sovereign. It's a positive theory of law. According to Karl Heinrich Marx, who is himself the 19th century greatest philosopher, he says that Hobbes is the father of us all. Regarding Hobbes, Marx has given a statement: Hobbes is the father of us all. As the beginning of capitalism, which is based on competition, which is based on strip among individuals, among competitors, may be traced back to थॉमस हॉबस. कार्ल मार्क्स की जो ये स्टेटमेंट कि हॉबस हम सब का पिता है, ये इसलिए कहा जाता है क्योंकि जो थॉमस हॉबस की जो फिलॉसफी है, जो थॉमस हॉबस की थॉट है, उसमें हमें कैपिटलिज्म के ट्रेसेस मिलते हैं. कैपिटलिज्म जो एक पॉलिटिकल फिलॉसफी है, जो एक इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम को रिकमेंड करती है, वो इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम जो कैपिटलिज्म की बुनियाद पे बेस्ड है. कंपटीशन है, वहां पे कंपिटिटिव वर्ल्ड वो डिपिक्ट कर रहा है. जहां तक हॉब्स की लेविथान का ताल्लुक है, हॉब्स ने जो लेविथान की बुक लिखी है वो जो 1651 में पस मंजर पे आई है. 1651 में हॉब्स कंपाइल्ड ए बुक called a Leviathan. This book was written by Thomas Hobbes in the backdrop of the Civil War. In the backdrop of the Civil War that raged Great Britain between 1642 to 1651. ग्रेट ब्रिटेन में एक सिविल वार चल रहा था, एक ferocious स्ट्रगल चल रहा था between the parliamentarians on the one side and the kings on the other side. And it was the same ferocious struggle, it was the same civil war that Thomas Hobbes created an example in order to justify his absolute sovereign. That was the hypothetical condition. Thomas Hobbes created a hypothetical condition like this civil war. So the main source for Thomas Hobbes in order to wrote Leviathan came the civil war in 1642 to 1651. According to Thomas Hobbes, conflict is inherent in human nature. Thomas Hobbes कहते हैं कि conflict है, conflict is inherent in human nature. In blind pursuit of self-interest, in order to pursue your self-interest. Thomas Hobbes कहते हैं जो conflict है, it's inherent in human nature. Human beings are after all conflictual in nature. Relationship among human beings is based on mistrust, distrustful. So these are conflictual in nature, and this conflict is because of self-interest. According to Hobbes, human beings are basically selfish and competitive by nature. This is the same repetition of the above sentence. Human beings are basically selfish and competitive. The psychology of human beings. Psychologically, human beings are selfish and they are competitive by nature. So, keeping the above situation in mind, that there is no power who will regulate the affairs of the individuals, who are selfish, who are wicked, who are egoistic. So keeping the above situation in mind, and also there is absence of sovereignty, absence of some agency which will regulate the affairs of the people. आप ऊपर की जो कंडीशन है वो मद्देनजर रखो. जो ह्यूमन बींग्स है, दे आर सेल्फिश, वो सेल्फिश है, वो कंपिटिटिव है, वो इगोइस्टिक है. एंड एट द सेम टाइम आप ये भी सोचिए कि देयर इज नो अथॉरिटी, कोई अथॉरिटी नहीं है, कोई एजेंसी नहीं है जो लोगों के अफेयर्स को रेगुलेट करे. तो what will be the best possible alternative in order to ensure the security of everyone in the state of nature. So state, in order to demonstrate the need for an all powerful state, absolutist state, absolute sovereign, he describes a hypothetical situation without the state. स्टेट के बगैर एक वो हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन क्रिएट करता है. क्योंकि हम कभी कभार मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ रहे थे तो वहां पे एक चैप्टर हुआ करता था ज्योमेट्री. हम टू प्रूव गिवन हम वहां पे सोचते थे. So it's like given here, given situation, hypothetical situation is there. So this hypothetical situation, according to Hobbes, is called a state of nature. And the state of nature is a situation, it's a condition where there is no state. कोई भी state नहीं है, किसी प्रकार की कोई गवर्नमेंट ही नहीं है, कोई बादशाह ही नहीं है, कोई रूलर ही नहीं है. जब रूलर नहीं होगा तो there are no laws. There's no law, there is no morality, no one to exercise authority over man. कोई किसी दूसरे पे authority exercise नहीं कर रहा है. So the fruit which is there, it's uncertain. Fruit is uncertain. Industry is uncertain. So in the state of nature, everyone has a natural right. As we know, in the state of nature, there was a law of nature which was governing. This law of nature provides everyone with the natural right, and this natural right was to ensure his self-preservation. Everyone possesses the natural right, and this natural right means you have to preserve yourself. You have to ensure your security, and a person can go to an extent in order to ensure his security. In the state of nature, selfish and competitive people would be fearful and distrustful of each other, keeping the above situation in mind that there is no authority which is controlling. There's a state of nature. So selfish people are selfish. They're competitive. They would be fearful and distrustful of each other. And this condition will fed up there. They will become fed up of this condition. In the state of nature, the life of man is in short. In the state of nature, the life of man is solitary. It's alone. It's poor, as there is no fruit. It's nasty. It's brutish, and it's short. So, in order to secure their escape from the state of nature, तो इस स्टेट ऑफ नेचर से बाहर निकलने के लिए इंडिविजुअल्स रिनाउंस देयर नेचुरल राइट्स. इंडिविजुअल्स जो है जिनके पास नेचुरल राइट्स है, दे हैव गिवन अप देयर नेचुरल राइट्स टू ऑल थिंग्स एंड इंस्टीट्यूट ए थर्ड पर्सन और बॉडी ऑफ पर्सन्स. तो इन ऑर्डर इस अवस्था से बाहर निकलने के लिए जहाँ पे किसी प्रकार की कोई गवर्नमेंट नहीं है, जहाँ पे किसी किस्म का कोई कंट्रोल ही नहीं है, जहाँ पे कोई कंट्रोलिंग एजेंसी नहीं है, तो इस अवस्था से बाहर निकलने के लिए, ऐसी कंडीशन से बाहर निकलने के लिए जहाँ पे आपका फ्रूट, आपकी लाइफ को खतरा है, इंडिविजुअल्स रेनाउंस देयर नेचुरल राइट्स. इन्होंने सभी नेचुरल राइट्स छोड़े टू ऑल थिंग्स एंड इंस्टीट्यूट, और उन्होंने एक पर्सन बनाया या बॉडी ऑफ पर्सन्स बनाया. एज इन ए लेविथान देयर इज अ स्टेटमेंट with regard to the contract, I authorize and give up my right of governing myself to this man or assembly of men. हर कोई इंडिविजुअल कहता है I authorize and give up, मैंने अपने राइट्स छोड़े हैं myself, और मैंने किसी और को बोला कि मुझे गवर्न करे to this man, या तो वो किंग हो सकता है, और an assembly of, या तो वो कोई असेंबली होती है, on the condition, इस कंडीशन that thou give up the right to him and authorize all his actions in like manner. ताकि वो जो इंडिविजुअल है जिसको मैंने क्रिएट किया, जो एक थर्ड पार्टी मैंने क्रिएट की, वो मेरी प्रोटेक्शन एंश्योर करे. सो there's a contract. The contract has been established now. Everyone has surrendered his will. So sovereign is just a product of the contract. ये जो कंट्रैक्ट इंडिविजुअल्स आपस में करते हैं स्टेट ऑफ नेचर में, तो sovereign उसका प्रोडक्ट है. 2 into 3 is equal to 6. 6 is a product of 2 into 3. Similarly, sovereign is a product of the contract entered into by individuals in the state of nature rather than a party. Sovereign is not a party to the contract. It is just a product of the contract. The sovereign brings safety of life, security of property, law and order, justice and morality to society. ये जो sovereign जो अब हमने establish किया है, इससे इंडिविजुअल की लाइफ को सेफ्टी मिली है. Security of property, not only your life, even your property is secured. Law and order establish हुआ है. Justice अब हमें हासिल हो रहा है, and not only this, there is morality. as sovereign is not a party to the contract. जब जब sovereign party to the contract नहीं है, ये सिर्फ product है. He is free from having any obligation towards the subjects. He is not having too much duties towards his citizens. He is only enjoying powers towards his citizens, towards the individual. Individuals in state of nature has submitted themselves to the state. Individuals in the state of nature has submitted themselves to the state in the hope that it will ensure safety of their life. When the government threatens to kill us or government kills us, we have a right to revolt. So individuals in the state of nature has submitted, उन्होंने submit किया है themselves to the sovereign, to the state in the hope that it will ensure safety of their life. अपनी safety of life को हासिल करने के लिए individuals अपने state of nature में सब कुछ छोड़ दिया है. They have submitted everything before the sovereign, before the state. The individuals have a right to resist and disobey sovereign only if it fails to protect their life. Individuals जो है उनको right to resist है, वो disobey कर सकते हैं sovereign को. There is an extreme occasion for that. There is an and that's only when sovereign attempts to kill you. When sovereign kills you or sovereign attempts to kill you, you have an option to rebel against the king. You have right to revolt against the king. Hobbes has himself written that civil war and brutish situation of state of nature can only be avoided by strong and unlimited government. Hobbes ने खुद कहा है, Hobbes has himself written that civil war and brutish situation, जो ये civil war जो यूरोप में था, ब्रिटेन में जो था, और जो स्टेट ऑफ नेचर में जो आपकी लाइफ ब्रूटिश थी, उस सिचुएशन से बाहर निकलने के लिए, उस सिचुएशन को खत्म करने के लिए, यू नीड टू हैव एन एब्सोल्यूट एंड अनलिमिटेड गवर्नमेंट. After the creation of sovereign, natural law automatically gets replaced by law, civil law. जो natural law जो individuals को govern कर रही थी state of nature में, now that's replaced by civil law. And in order to end the conflict between these two, और इस natural law और civil law के बीच जो कभी कभार कोई conflict arise होगी, उसका खात्मा करने के लिए we need to have an absolute sovereign. जो sovereign होगा, he should be supreme, his order should be supreme, he should be at peak, he should be at apex. Whatever he will say, that will become law. And when that will become law, automatically the natural law will get subsumed under civil law. I think this was an important lecture about Hobbes. In brief, I will repeat. Thomas Hobbes was a great English political philosopher. He has written an important work, The Leviathan. In fact, this book, The Leviathan, which supports absolutism, has also been burned once. It in fact, to European people who have burned it, they said that it supports absolutism, it supports tyranny, it supports totalitarianism, which is not a thing. In fact, man, I have already told you that Hobbes began as an individualist and ended as an absolutist. Hobbes was having a great concern for the liberty of an individual. In fact, some utilitarians also subscribe that Hobbes was a great hedonist ever. And this was an important lecture as far as the political thought is concerned, which is an important which is the syllabus of 5th semester political science students. We are delivering online lectures only because we are passing through a great and chaotic time. The great pandemic has occurred, so it will be better, and my suggestion to everyone will be stay home, stay safe. Thanks.